Welcome to AgriBytes, a moment in agriculture. My name's Cody Maxwell, Fannin County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. This time of the year I get a question quite a bit, and it's the question of what do I do about my weeds on my pond? Just like weeds within a pasture or weeds in our yard, this time of the year during the fall months is the time of the year in which we notice a lot of those weeds on the ponds. Now this time of year, not only is pond weeds an issue, but as we go through the drought this year, the level of our ponds in terms of the amount of water is an issue as well, making our pond weeds more noticeable in many cases. So when we look at pond weeds, we break them down into 4 different categories. We have algae, such as you see on this pond today, floating plants, submerged, and emerged plants. Now typically when we think of algae, it happens in an area like this that we're in, a lower area, an area in which we don't see much air movement. Other times we'll see floating plants, similarly so, that will have plants that are just floating on the top of the water. American pondweed is an example of this. Then we have submerged plants, plants that we don't see as often, that are visible to the eye, but whenever we go and fish on these ponds, many times they're the weeds that we pull in on our lures. And then we have the emerged plants, plants such as cattail, bulrush that we see growing around the water's edge that get very, very tall. Now there are ways to take care and control these plants to make our pond much more appealing to the eye. We do that by properly identifying these pond weeds, finding out which aquatic herbicides will match up with those weeds, and then control when necessary. This time of the year, as we move later on into the year, is typically not the most ideal time that we recommend applying aquatic herbicides to your pond, especially when we get in these times where we have a lack of oxygen, in which we could potentially have oxygen depletion within these ponds, which is what results in a fish kill. If you have questions about pond weeds, we invite you to reach out by email or by phone. You can also visit one of our AgriLife websites, aquaplant.tamu.edu, to properly identify your plant and find a herbicide that will work with it. My name's Cody Maxwell, Fannin County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of AgriBytes.